Have you ever felt like someone ripped out your soul and threw it away, like you were disposable? As if every word of love was a rehearsed lie designed to destroy you from the inside? This is the story of the day I died inside, and also of the woman who rose from the ashes. I was discarded in the cruelest way, without explanation, without warning. One day I was everything, the next I was nothing. I was left alone, empty, blaming myself for something I didn't even understand. But today, I'm sharing this not to evoke pity, but to open the eyes of anyone who might be in a relationship with a narcissist and hasn't realized it yet. So stay with me until the end. Maybe my pain will be the mirror you needed to finally break free. My name is Laura, and I was 32 when I met the man who would turn my world upside down. At the time, I was newly separated, a mother to a 5-year-old daughter, trying to rebuild myself emotionally and financially. I worked as a school teacher during the day and took freelance editing jobs online at night. My life was hectic but honest. I was doing my best. I met Andre on social media. A comment on a book we both liked sparked our first conversation. Within 2 weeks, he knew everything about me, my fears, my traumas, my dreams. He listened, he made me laugh. He said things like, "You're everything I've ever looked for. I've never met someone so strong and sweet at the same time. You deserve to be taken care of." Maybe you, watching this right now, have fallen for this kind of charm too. Leave a comment if something similar happened to you. Your story might help another woman. It all started like a dream. Andre brought me flowers at work, left sweet notes on my door, praised my daughter like she was his own. He said he had finally found a real family. Then came the first signs, subtle, almost unnoticeable, and always justified. First, he said he didn't like how my best friend hugged me. Then he started criticizing my work clothes. Those skirts attract the wrong attention. You don't need to show so much to look beautiful. Gradually, he distanced me from my friends with subtle digs like, "Your friends are so shallow. They're only around when they want something. You're too evolved to be around people like them." And I believed him. I believed he was protecting me. I believed jealousy was love. I believed isolation was care. I started changing to please him. I stopped going out with colleagues. I changed how I dressed. It felt like everything I did was wrong, and he was the only one who could lovingly correct me. But love turned into demands. Demands became criticisms. Criticisms turned into silence. "You're so selfish, always thinking of yourself. You always want things your way, like a spoiled child." And when I cried, he'd say, "There you go again with your victim act. It's exhausting." One day, during a fight, he looked at me and said, "If it weren't for pity for your daughter, I'd have left you already." That moment pierced through me like a blade. And still, I apologized. I still wanted to please him. I still thought I was the problem. Andre started vanishing. Sometimes he'd go 2 days without responding to texts. Then he'd return saying he was burned out, that I was suffocating, and he needed space. Then he'd show up with dinner, expensive gifts, teary apologies. And he'd say, "I love you so much, I just don't know how to handle it. You're so perfect that I feel small." These kinds of confessions confuse you. You think he's just a broken man, and that your love will heal him. But I didn't know this was the narcissist's cycle. Love bombing, devaluation, discard, idealization, devaluation, discard. One day, I found messages between him and another woman. When I confronted him, he said it was my fault. "You make me feel insecure. You're cold. You only care about work." And believe it or not, I apologized. Yes, I cried, apologized, and begged him to stay. "I'm sorry if I made you feel that way. I promise I'll be better." And he replied, You better. No one else would put up with you like I do. Over time, his criticisms turned into disguised humiliations. No one's going to want a woman with a kid and emotional baggage. You're pretty, but you don't take care of yourself anymore. You dress up more for others than for me. I felt like I was being crushed from the inside. But I still tried to become the ideal woman, the one he said I was in the beginning. The break came brutally. On my 34th birthday, I prepared dinner, dressed up my daughter in a new dress, filled the house with candles and flowers. I waited. He never showed up. I called. Nothing. Texted. Silence. Hours later, a simple text popped up on my phone. Sorry, can't do this anymore. Good luck. That was it. No explanation, no goodbye, no humanity. Blocked on every platform, phone and app. It was like I had died, and he moved on. A few days later, he was posting photos with another woman. That was the moment I realized I was never loved. I was used, manipulated, drained, and thrown away. Weeks without eating, months crying in the shower, hiding from my daughter. Anxiety attacks, obsessive thoughts, a crushing guilt. One night, sobbing, I typed into YouTube, "How to survive narcissistic discard." And that's where my healing journey began. I started watching videos about narcissism, toxic relationships, emotional dependency. Each video was both a stab and a relief. It hurt to see how badly I'd been fooled, but it was liberating to finally understand. I sought therapy. I started writing again. I reconnected with God, and I discovered there was a name for everything I had lived through: psychological abuse. For the first time, I began to look at myself with compassion. The woman he tried to destroy was being reborn, stronger, more aware, more whole. Now, I know I wasn't stupid. I was deceived by someone skilled in manipulation. And if you're watching this and feel like this is your story, please, don't blame yourself. You are not weak. You are a victim of a cruel game. If I could go back, I'd have trusted the early signs, that gut feeling that said, something's wrong. Now I know real love doesn't cut you off from the world. It doesn't isolate. It doesn't belittle. It doesn't make you feel worthless over things you didn't even do. Love doesn't hurt. Love doesn't disappear. Love doesn't block. So if you're in something like this, listen to your soul. Don't ignore your intuition. You deserve love that holds you, not one that destroys and discards you. Comment below if you've experienced a relationship with a narcissist. How many times did you blame yourself for something that wasn't yours? How often did you try to change someone and nearly lost yourself in the process? Your story could be the light another woman needs. If this video touched you, share it. Send it to that friend living in silent pain. Help open the eyes of someone who can't yet see. Subscribe to the channel for more real stories, support, and reflections on emotional abuse, self-worth, and healing. You are not alone, and you will never be disposable again.